Or is it good? As we welcome you to the Friday edition, the great Mike Huguenin will join us here, presented by our friends at Goof Moving and Storage. We also, ladies and gentlemen, when you hear that particular sound, it could mean that it's time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, for the following. When you hear this, you know that news is going to break out, and you know that we're going to break in when you hear what you hear, because you ain't no heard no sounds like you're going to hear, but dig this. And ladies and gentlemen, when you hear that, you will know that it is time for our closings, because today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a snowbird edition of your Tony Basilio Show. Today, as you hear that secret sound, you will know that we will get you updated on the latest and greatest with Snowmageddon coming across our entire region and our entire world. And you will hear such closings as, well, let me just give you a couple here before we get to going. Bino, Jeff, buenos dias, how we doing?
Tony, we're doing outstanding. Hope you and Brian are as well, and all the listeners. We're dug in for Snowmageddon. We're ready.
Here's the thing about it. I was talking with a man from T3 Vodka today, and we were breaking it down scientifically, moving right to left across your device. And he said yesterday he was firing up the generator and getting that ready. And Mark Lester said, you know, the thing about this is that at the end of it all, the time you don't prepare is when it all falls in on you. I think that's true, Bino. People laugh at those of us that prepare. People laugh at us that go to, but you got to get prepared. What happens if it ices, right, right, Bino? You got to be prepared.
That's correct, Tony. That's correct.
I don't joke around with
whatever
the ice.
I get won't go to waste, whether it comes or it doesn't.
Speaking of waste. Waste will not make haste in the world of Danny White, ladies and gentlemen, because Tony Basilio here to report in our Snowbird Studios the following. Danny White Symposium on Crowd Control, scheduled for the River Club over at Neyland Stadium, will go on rain or shine, but especially in the snow, and especially if there's an ice storm. Plebeians are encouraged not to report, only the Richies. Barnes Dogma Seminar, 2 fouls and you're out. Slated for Tuscaloosa tomorrow night. Is on as regularly scheduled, and Jacoby Gillespie is encouraged to wear his lanyard for that one. Also, the Carson Beck finishing skew. No fourth quarter tomorrow. Bino, Jeff Henderson, do you like school closings, and do you find them silly and goofy?
All of the above, Tony. All of the above.
Bino, Jeff Henderson, talk to me here.
Right off. Excuse me, Tony. Right off the top, I want to send out condolences to a friend and a teammate, Tony Lindsay, who lost his mother recently, and to his son, Chris, who I had the pleasure to meet at the visitation yesterday, who is a long-time Tony Basilio Show listener, and thanks for the kind words about the show, Chris, and sorry for your and your dad's loss.
Well put, Beanstar. We are a radio family. Brian Hartman, the Lady Vol game last night was most entertaining, was it not? They're 6-0 now in the SEC. I knew they'd get there. I knew they would do this.
It was a very rough watch at times, but both teams played extremely hard. And the difference was, I think at the end, Kentucky's lack of depth.
Yeah.
The Lady Vols had a severe depth advantage, and it showed on the last inbounds play where nobody really aggressively for Kentucky tried to help their inbounder out. It was a sort of a turnover where she just kind of handed it to
one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It looked like 6th grade basketball.
Yeah, and then the sequence with 8 seconds left where literally on a loose scramble, the clock almost ran out. So one of those ugly games, but they got the win, and they're 6-0, and they're still got a chance to see how far they can take this.
Hey, they got some biggie boys coming up. They got Oklahoma in a couple weeks. They got I was looking ahead. They've got
Their
LSU.
schedule's going to get it much harder.
They've got South Carolina. They've got Jano Adams. But here we are. Hughie's getting ready
That's
to join.
a big win because, Kim, that's a big win for Kim Caldwell. The highest-ranked team she's ever beaten.
Jano, really? No, they beat UConn last year. Can't be the
think it's the highest-ranked SEC team they've beaten.
Oh, okay. Come on, bro.
I think it's what it is.
Here's the deal. Jano Adams. Here's the deal. The playoff, and you guys told me this was going to happen. When I said there were whispers it was going to go 16, people were saying, no, it's going to stay at 12. You guys were right. How about the Big Ten digging in their heels because they won a 24-team deal? Let me tell you something. If you give me the choice between 12 and 24, I stay at 12. If you gave me the choice between 12 and 16, I would stay at 12. I'm glad it's staying at 12. Now, it's staying at 12 for the wrong reasons because they're letting the Big Ten win. And Petiti, who's a very small guy from Brooklyn, he's a Paisan. He's got little man syndrome. What do you think, Bino? I'm glad it's staying at 12, personally.
I'm fine with 12, Tony. I would be fine with 16. I do not want 24. Don't want it to go there. I guess my question would be, how long does this standoff go on? I mean, I would hope that there are enough adamant against 24 to keep it at 12 as long as the Big Ten digs their heels in until it goes to.
Yeah, you want to ruin your sport? Make it 24. Let's do some outcome-based education. Those of you who are educators know what I'm talking about. Outcome-based education. No more grades. If you find the 7 in the circle, you get an A. Everybody gets an A. Let's all drink some milk. At lunchtime today. Everybody gets an A. Everybody gets an A. No hurt feelings. Everybody gets an A. What would the point be of playing a 13? Is that obnoxious enough? What would the point be of playing a 13-game schedule, Bino? Or 12-game schedule to have 24 playoff teams? What's the accomplishment in that?
Zero is the accomplishment in that for the last 8 of them, at the very least.
Somebody asking me, did I see the piece that Mike Keith did with Jim Knowles? Let me tell you something about Jim Knowles. He's a Philly boy. Now, he's a little more cerebral than I am, a little more laid back, son of a Philly cop. I look forward to getting to know him. And I'm going to have him over for a real live living, breathing cheesesteak at some point. But here's the thing about Jim Knowles. You got to understand, he's a Philadelphia sports fan. His father was a city police officer, and he's a tough guy. He's a tough dude. And his daughter went to the University of Tennessee. Bino, did you know that about him? His daughter went to the University of Tennessee?
I did not.
Yep. Balls to my Vols said that, what did you think of the Knowles interview? I think Mike Keith's great at what he does, and I enjoyed that interview very much. I'd encourage anybody to go check that out over on the YouTube. And Knowles is excellent. Now, you can see why he commands a room. So now you got some bad cops on the campus. The accounts of Derek Owings setting up trash cans at all 4 corners of the facility. And those of you getting ready to eat, close your ears, but you can just picture the visual. It reminds me of the old account, since this is We Bat Pack Week, of Pat Summitt having people throwing up into trash cans. Sorry, I just got graphic. After they got off the bus, She made everybody run till they passed out. Those were the old days. You can't do that today. You can't do that today, Bino, can you? You get sued today if you did something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not as prevalent as it once was, Tony. And I was a baseball player, so there was no puking.
Not true.
There's no puking in baseball.
Not if you'd have played for that nut that was here, whose son blossomed into a great player. Because I know a guy that drove them back, drove the bus. And when they got back to Knoxville, he made them pull right in besides like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he made them pull in right at Lindsey Nelson. They fired the lights up, and they went out there, and he had his guys out there running. Really worked with that club.
Yeah, he had good squads here.
Had some good clubs, man. Bino, I've just been told that Dave is on hold. It's an interesting thing that he's there. It's an interesting thing that Dave is on hold because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to report we've got a couple Dave-related closings, one of whom is the following. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, chillins of all ages, why is my bit not working here? Oh, there we go. By the way, Mike Huguenin coming up momentarily. But kudos to Dave. I'm not sure if he's ever accomplished this, but today he's got a couple closings. The first one is, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Basilio reporting in our Snowbird Studio Center. Dave's Knoxville chapter, Norman Vincent Peale Society, The Power of Positive Thinking, Tennessee basketball version, watch party is on as regularly scheduled again. The Dave Knoxville chapter, Norman Vincent Peale Society, Power Positive Thinking, Tennessee basketball watch party slated for tomorrow evening is on as regularly scheduled, as is Josh Elander's Glow Up Seminar. Looking like a new you over at Heupel's house is on as regularly scheduled. Bino, Jeff Henderson, your thoughts on Josh Elander telling the media yesterday that, lo and behold, he is going to hold runners on. We are going to hold runners. Thoughts on that?
I am for that, Tony. I know there's a thought out there that stealing second does not equate to a whole lot more runs, allowing people to steal second. Allowing people to steal second and third, I guarantee you that costs you runs. So I am all for us being a little bit more stringent at holding runners on and making sure we just don't give away bases.
Producer Laura tells me that Dave is on hold. Dave, do you mind us taking liberties on you on a school closing or two today?
Perfectly fine.
Dave, what do you think of holding base runners on base versus what we did under Tony Vitello?
I'm for it because that drove me nuts last year.
Dave, do you believe that Josh Elander will be a better manager of baseball games than Tony Vitello, who I think was kind of mid at it, to be honest with you?
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Dave, do you think we're winning tomorrow night in Alabama?
Well, I'm glad you brought up basketball. We're staring at it. We're staring at a 2-5 start.
Oh, stop it! Huguenin's going to join. I mean, Dave, you can't come on here and get negative. Now, come on, Dave. Staring at a 2-5 start.
Well, I just wanted to add some context to that.
All right, do the math.
Well, if we do start off 2-5,
yes,
it will be the worst SEC start schedule-wise since the 2002-2003 season.
Is that right?
Buzz Peterson.
Is that right? How do you get to 2-5? Explain that to me now. Oh, losing next 2. Bino, are we winning tomorrow night in your humble opinion?
I do not think we are, Tony, and I think we're going to lose at Georgia too and start 2-5. But I think we're going to win 4 or 5 of the next 6.
Yep.
After that.
Schedule going to lighten up. We warned everybody earlier in the year to kind of batten them down.
Let me add something to that.
All right.
Rick Barnes, this is his 39th year.
The best.
The head basketball coach.
Best there ever was here. Yep.
In those 39 years, not counting this year, 38 years,
yes.
complete years.
Best there ever was.
He has missed 9 NCAA tournaments. Okay. So he's basically made 30.
Yep. 30 of 39. That's excellent.
Okay.
75%.
Besides 1 year at Providence.
Yep.
He lost the 8th game on January 31st.
Yep.
And he made the tournament. 9 times.
Yes.
If he had a loss at the end of January, if he had 8 losses, he did not make the NCAA tournament.
Hey, Dave, we have 68 teams now. He's going to make the NCAA tournament. And the great Mike Huguenin, presented by Griffon Moving and Storage, is on the way next. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Griffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Griffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Griffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Griffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Griffon.com. That's Griffon.com, or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Griffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at KnoxvilleSmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, Pipe Wrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with Pipe Wrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at PipeWrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit PipeWrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall, the best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience, Alumni Hall. It's unbelievable, Andy, as we welcome you back, fired up, focused, and prepared with you on a Friday. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, chillins of all ages, I'm going to attempt to do something I've never done before, but the opportunity presents itself. Not only will we have school closings today, but we also have a segment, of course. Mike Huguenin's in the house, and he is presented by our friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage. And the great Tom Gouffon, we were talking, he goes, you know, Tony, it's just unbelievable how awesome it is to hear you fired up, focused, and prepared for our business. To which I said to him, hey, Tom, when you've been at it 139 years like you guys have, and you give me an opportunity to tell your story on here, brother, it is an honor, it is a privilege, and it is a blessing. And you guys are a blessing to many in our community. So with that in mind, let me bring the great Mike Huguenin in on this Friday. And I want to bring Nega Dave back. I've never interfaced Nega Dave with a guest. Hey, Bino, am I asking for it here, interfacing Nega Dave, because he's your old softball buddy? Am I doing something here, interfacing Nega Dave with a guest?
Yeah, I think you've done a whole lot worse than that, Tony. I'd carry on.
I'm feeling rather frisky. All right, Nega Dave and Hughie, welcome in. Hughie, how we doing, buddy?
Doing well.
All right, Nega Dave, I want Nega Dave to opine on this, because Nega Dave is our he generally doesn't fall on the positive side of things, as you can imagine, Hughie. Nega Dave can find rain clouds on a beautiful sunny day when they're in a cloud in the sky, brother. You ever have any sports friends like that, Hughie? They always look on the dark side.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest. I think a majority of sports fans are that way.
Now,
we didn't win by enough points, or yeah, we won, but we got this guy injured, or yeah, we beat this team, but have you looked at the schedule ahead? So I think a lot of sports fans
That's
are.
what Naked Dave just did. He just looked at the schedule ahead. How did you know? He looked at the schedule ahead.
The glass is always half empty.
Oh,
Always.
Naked Dave. All right, Naked Dave, let's talk about what they're doing tomorrow night, this stunt that Nate Oates, who can't buy a vowel for his last name, they're going to play a guy that got out of there like 3 years ago. Negative. What is this stunt they're pulling with Betty Crocco tomorrow night, Negative? I want your thoughts on it.
Well, Tony, how surprising is it? He played Brandon Miller after Miller delivered the gun that killed the person that he delivered the gun that Darius Miles used to kill a person. And Brandon Miller did not miss one game. Do you think Brandon Miller was playing at the University of Tennessee that Rick Barnes found out that his player delivered the gun that killed somebody? Do you think Brandon Miller would have lined up again for Tennessee?
Hughie, what are they doing with this stunt tomorrow night? And now that Negaday puts it in that light, and how impotent? Because we talked 1 week ago about how Danny White's so afraid of the NCAA. And then you got another athletic department saying, hold my Dos Equis there, Dr. Danny White. Let me show you something. Let me show you how impotent these people are, how little lead is in the pencil in Indianapolis. And they're basically spitting in the face of the NCAA here.
Yeah, and this is, to me, if you're Greg Sankey, if you're Tony Petitti, if you're any, frankly, Power 4 commissioner, you need to step up and say to your teams, no, you're not playing this guy. I don't give two hoots if he's been made eligible by the courts. This is against NCAA rules. This is against SEC rules, and you're not doing it. Again, we talked about this last week. Administrators and coaches cry all the time about stuff that should not be happening. This is a perfect example of if Greg Sankey had a spine or a backbone, he could stand up to Alabama and say, no, Nate Oates, you're not playing Charles Bodiaco. He's a pro player now. You're not playing him.
Let me ask Pino.
I don't care what the courts say. And then, there'll be a lawsuit. So what? I don't understand. Again, the NCAA is an association of schools that you have to want to join. So the rules breaking that goes on, everybody talks about how impotent the NCAA is. Yep. It is impotent, but at the same time, the other schools can step up, and yet they never do.
Hey, Bino, I thought this guy that runs the SEC is the big bad wolf. And as Hughie says, where is he in this? He's just going to sit there and let Alabama use a professional player tomorrow night against Tennessee?
He has no idea, Tony. He's thinking about trying to figure out a way to get the playoffs to go to 16.
Oh! I mean, that's the truth. Hughie, this thing's all about football, right?
Yes.
And so let's just bastardize basketball. Let's just grab a guy off the street. I was told by an NBA source of mine that Bediako yesterday afternoon was practicing with his G League team up in suburban Detroit and then got on the airplane, and he flew down there, and now he's going to practice today with his team and play tomorrow night. What are we doing, Hughie?
What are we doing?
It's a farce.
It's a circus / clown show.
Yes.
It's surrealistic. It's like Salvador Dali's in charge of college athletics now. I don't understand, again, why coaches aren't stepping up and saying, no, Nate Oates, you can't do this. You're making a mockery of college basketball. Why a commissioner can't do this? Baylor did the same thing earlier.
Yep. They did do the same thing earlier. That's right. You're right.
The Big 12 commissioner, Yormark, has always been thought of as a forward thinker by the media. Well, then why didn't, Yormark could have said, no, Scott Drew, you're not playing this guy. This is beyond ridiculous. And frankly, the guy that Baylor has the Badiako. I don't say anybody can't look at him and say he's a professional.
He's a pro. I mean, if we're going to do this, hey, Dave, what should the Vols do in light of this? Would you sit there and take it if you're Barnes? When they walk this guy out there tomorrow, would you pull your team off the floor? Or would you take a liberty on the guy? What would you do, Dave, if that was your dime in your dance floor tomorrow night? Dave?
Well, somebody's got to make a statement. Somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got to stand up for what's right. And this is just all wrong. Is this Bediako? Is he even enrolled in classes?
Of course not. No, of course not. Hey, Hughie, here's my thing, right? How do you get a guy that's literally at a I know there's things like pickup basketball now. We all know that from year to year with the portal. And you had 9 new players. But these guys, Baylor and Alabama, are saying, guys, hold my Dos Equis. White Plains, New York, Cervezas Mexicanas 2026. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
What's the end result of all this? You're going to be. Well, we're going to start a new rule. You're going to have 2 pros on your team or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
It's getting to be ridiculous. My assumption also now is that, well, first the number of players who entered the NFL draft early is at like a 30-year low or something like. Maybe it's 20-year low because they're realizing that NIL.
Yes.
It's a better deal to get NIL than potentially be a 7th-round pick.
Yes.
I'm assuming they're going to change the draft rules for NBA and college players as well. But you wonder if there's somebody out there thinking, okay, if you enter the NBA draft, you're not selected, you're signed by the G League, you still have college eligibility. Because that seems to be where we're going now.
Well, how about this?
So I don't understand some of the stuff that's going on, and part of me also, I'm ticked as a college basketball fan. I'm ticked off at Alabama. Why are you doing this? You are making a mockery of the rules. And again, that's why I think other coaches need to step up and say, no, NATO, you're not doing this. This is beyond the pale, man.
I can't believe Barnes is going to put his team out on the floor tomorrow night. Bino, here's my fear, and it goes right in line with what Hughie's talking about. If Alabama's allowed to do this, why not have one designated spot of a guy that toggles between the G League and colleges? He plays with his G League team during the week, and then he gets to play with his college team, as he plays with his college team. Hughie just brought up a pretty good idea,
I don't think it's a good idea, but I mean, you wonder if that's what's going to end up happening.
And Bino, here's my fear for tomorrow night. I'm Tennessee. I got Nate Ament. I've invested $4 million in him. He's got a pro future. Bediako needs to make a name for himself. He gets a chance. He's not going to let an 18-year-old kid dunk on him around the rim. What's stopping Bediako from going out there tomorrow night and taking liberties on him, Bino? Because that exists in that game. The chance of that happening, people say, well, you're being an alarmist. You're just trying to start things. BS. That absolutely could happen tomorrow night, Bino. I don't like that at all.
No, it's all part of my fear about all of college sports getting as old as they're getting, Tony. You got men playing against, at best, young men.
Yep. And Mark Pope said it the other day, Dave, if they trot this guy out here tomorrow night and if they go through with this stunt, they should be ineligible. They should lose that game tomorrow night automatically to Tennessee. It should be a forfeit. And they ought to revisit whether or not they're eligible for the postseason tournament because, after all, the NCAA has already told them this player is ineligible. Now, they're using the court system to get around it, but the NCAA has already told them this player is ineligible. Negative, they said they ought to get thrown out of the tournament. Is he right, Negative? In your Friday appearance here, presented by Gufon Moving and Storage?
Well, to my understanding, the NCAA does run the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
And they have the final say on that tournament. But getting back to the G League and all that, if I was Barnes, I'd get a hold of one of our billionaires or millionaires that knows a judge locally, and I'd call up Candy Chandler and I'd call up Jaden Springer, and I'd get that judge to sign a temporary injunction, and maybe I wouldn't play him, but I'd have Candy Chandler tomorrow night and Jaden Springer warming up pregame.
You see, Hughie, that's what Alabama's doing here. They're inviting people to cross that line now. That's what's ridiculous about this.
And that's exactly right. And I think that Nega Dave was maybe being a little hyperbolic, but this kind of stuff does happen in high school athletics. You get temporary restraining orders, you get injunctions. Also your team can advance in the playoff. Well, they use an ineligible player, so they're out. That means they beat us by 36, but we still have to keep playing because we were the last team they beat. That kind of stuff happens in Florida every 3 or 4 years, it seems like, and it happens in other states as well. So it's really, I don't think, out of the realm of possibility that someone does. If Badiako keeps playing, somebody comes up with the idea, no, he's not allowed to play when he's in Florida, or no, he's not allowed to play when he's in Texas.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's good, Hughie. So in other words, you got your judge, I'll get my judge. Because look, I was talking about this yesterday. The NCAA's turned into a deal where the product on the field is still great. The product on the court's great. The sport of college basketball is getting older, and the game's better for that reason. Now, it's a little pick-up-ish, and there's loose things that happen at the end of games, like the Tennessee-Kentucky game, and a lot of these games that you're not used to seeing because these teams aren't used to playing together. But still, there's a lot older guys that used to be in the sport, and it's getting older, like Hughie said, because people – look, would I want to – and Bediako has come to this conclusion. Would I rather be in the bus league or back at Alabama making $1 million a year? If Kennedy Chandler was in today's environment, Hughie, there's no way he would have jumped right to the NBA. He would have hung on to that $2 to $3 million payday as long as he could in college basketball as an upper echelon point guard since he brought up Kennedy Chandler. And that's why the game's better now, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think it's why college football is better as well.
Yep.
The talent's more spread out, and they're guys who are 4, 5, 6-year veterans in the game. Whereas in years past, heck, 5 years ago, they would have left for the NFL or the NBA. And I think that does make the product on the court better. It's just another thing we talked about last week. College football specifically, Saturdays are awesome. The other 6 days make you want to throw up.
But think about
college basketball is the same way. The 2 days a week there's games played for your team. You're loving it. The other 5 days you shake your head in disgust.
Think about this. Bediako's got a hearing coming up. That could shape what we see about college basketball going forward. You've got the hearing coming up for our quarterback, Vanderbilt's quarterback. That's coming up. You've got the hearing coming up for the kid at Duke, Mensa. And Miami could literally care less if Duke has Mensa's marketing rights, which is what Miami's arguing. That NIL deal you guys signed as marketing rights, he's going to come play football for us next year. You guys have fun with him as a marketing entity. He's going to come play for us next year, so you've got that coming up. Somebody is going to challenge this one portal thing. That'll be another hearing that we're going to see in the next several months. I predict that. So minimum, Hughie, we've got several court cases coming up because that's what we do now. And that's who does the heavy lifting. Because the NCAA's an impotent body, Danny White, listen to me. They can't decide anything, so all you do to them is, we'll see you in court.
Or they do decide something, and someone doesn't like the answer, okay, we'll see you in court.
That's right.
There's also the Damon Wilson thing, the kid who transferred from Georgia to Mizzou and now evidently is transferring to Miami.
There you go.
There's that court case as well. I was talking with a friend of mine who's a lawyer, and this is sort of off topic a little bit, but he went to law school in the 80s and was deciding, do I want to become a sports lawyer and be an agent and stuff? You literally could go to law school now and specialize in being a sports lawyer and handle only cases involving the NCAA. That's how many lawsuits you could file on a weekly basis because there's something for everybody. Division II player, well, we're going to sue. Division III player wants to go to FCS, we're going to sue. Junior college player, we're going to sue. I'm out of college now, we're going to sue. It's beyond ridiculous.
Hey, Bino, somebody said this thing feels like tomorrow night when Danny Almonte pitched in the Little League World Series. It's not far off. I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous thing to take a professional player that's played in several summer leagues, that's played in the G League for 2.5 seasons, and he's still practicing with the G League team, but you're borrowing him for the weekend. Here comes Danny Almonte, Bino. Let's doctor his birth certificate.
I think it's a perfect comparison, and I'll go one better than Negative and Hughie. I'd bring back Grant Williams and have a judge say he plays in Charlotte. That might as well be the G.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, Bri.
If Alabama plays him and Tennessee beats them anyway, they'll be the laughingstock of college basketball.
Well,
if Tennessee beats a player with a pro on it, they should just go ahead and give the Vols the #1 overall seed in March.
That's exactly right, Bri.
Because no one's going to have a better win than that.
See, Hughie, that's not hyperbole, is it? What Brian just
Bediako, I don't even think he's a for sure star in college basketball. So, but also, let's say they do play him.
Yeah.
And then the lawsuit comes out, and they're like, nope, they shouldn't have been playing him. So that becomes a forfeit.
No,
so, I mean there is something potentially negative for Alabama, and I would argue that most college basketball fans would be fine with that.
The judge said, however they rule, it still won't be a forfeit. The Alabama judge.
The case is still going to be winding through the courts.
That's right. You're exactly right, Hughie. No, the case. And at the end of all
what
this,
one judge says, another judge could say something else.
That's right, Hughie. That's Nega Dave, you're under wing right now when you come in here with Hughie on Hughie's Friday appearances. I don't know what you think you're doing, bro.
I just got one last question.
Hit it.
For him. When is this chaos going to end? And I'll let y'all go.
Thank you. Hughie, your thoughts on Nega Dave today, who appeared on the show and actually sounded somewhat cogent and somewhat logical with you today. He's really a windbag.
No, he makes good points. And his question, I think, is the question that everybody has and nobody has the answer to. I don't think anybody knows when the chaos is going to end. And I'll also say this. Everybody focuses on men's basketball and football.
Yep.
There's stuff going on, in softball.
Oh.
The top 3 teams in the softball poll are Oklahoma, Texas Tech, and Texas.
Yep.
All supposedly paying more than $1 million for their rosters.
Yep.
Softball. Baseball's the same way.
Softball.
At some point, there's going to be, I think gymnastics makes money now.
Yep.
So who's to say that, she was 17, she went to college for 2 years, then she dropped out to become an Olympian. Now it's 6 years later. You know something? She has 2 years of college eligibility left. She wants to come back to college as a 25-year-old. Who's going to stop them? Same with swimmers, tennis players. I'm gonna play college tennis, go on a pro satellite circuit. Nope, I want to keep playing college tennis as well because I can make more. I don't think you can make more money, but maybe you could. I guess make the assertion I make more money playing college with NIL. So this stuff's never going to end.
The whole thing's patently unfair. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think anybody begrudges the players from making the money. What my begrudgment comes from the NCAA never having the intestinal fortitude or foresight to step up and say, here are the guardrails. Everybody needs to say yes, and if somebody goes outside the guardrails, then it's your issue, not the association.
Hey, Bino,
but the NCAA kicked the can down the road for so long.
How about this one tomorrow night, Bino? Would you sign off on this, you and Bri? You tell me this, of all nation. So Alabama comes out of the first time out, and they put Bediako out there. You just pull your team off the floor. Get him off the floor, and then we're going to play. I think you ought to do that. I think that's how you handle this. Get him off the floor, and we'll play.
I think the refs would say, if you don't get back on the floor, you're going to forfeit the game.
Get him off the floor, or we're not going to play, and then we'll just call the game. I agree, because I think Barnes has enough gravitas that you could do that. It reminds me of back in the day when Prop 48 was a thing when we used to go to school, and I remember when the coach at Georgetown, John Thompson, staged his protests on the court. Hey, when you've been there long enough And you have enough gravitas, and certainly Rick Barnes has enough gravitas, Bino, to do that, doesn't he?
Yes, I would think he's one of the coaches in the sport that does have that type of pop.
So it's kind of sad. I mean, all right, let's move along. As Mike Huguenin is with us from pillar to post, post to pillar, presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. East Tennesseans, they've been helping to move since 1887, 139 years, 5 generations. Are you kidding me? 5 generations, 138 years. That's longer than our last Sugar Bowl appearance. That's longer than our last appearance in the NCAA title game. Hughie, you realize Tennessee hadn't appeared in an NCAA in an SEC championship game since 1900. And what year was it? Brian, when was that? 2008? 2007?
2007 was our last SEC title game appearance.
Hughie, we're going on 20 years
20
since
years,
appearing in one. That seems impossible when you have Tennessee's athletic budget. Impossible, Hughie.
Yeah, but I think Florida hasn't won an SEC title since 2008. They spend money. Auburn, LSU. I mean, I think every school feels the same, but you're right. Tennessee's it has been a while for Tennessee. Look at Texas A&M and all the money they've spent. So, but yeah, and again, I think we talked about this a little bit last week. The idea that Indiana wins the national title in Kurt Cignetti's second season, that has made life a lot tougher for coaches, but hard to feel sorry for guys making $8-9 million a year.
Oh, it's completely and totally bizarre. It sped the clock up on everybody. It's one of the great coaching jobs. We had Watson Brown on Wednesday, in our Wednesday with Watson segment. He said the guy pitched a perfect game the other night. He said the timeouts were impeccably called. He said that defensive timeout they called right before the interception, he said most head coaches would not do that. Most head coaches would sit over there and take their medicine. He knew if I don't get this timeout, they're putting the ball in the end zone. And he reset the game. And then Beck came right out, had a misread, and underthrew the football. Cignetti Cignetti's different, Hughie. He's just different.
He is. And I think, again, I'm not sure if there's any coach who could have done what he did. I'm totally being serious. He takes over Indiana. They're the losingest program in major college history.
Yep.
And in 2 years, he wins a national title, and he's lost 2 games in 2 years.
Yep.
27-2. With dudes from James Madison all over his starting lineup. Plus, I think it's hard not to like the guy. I mean, he's got a lot of swagger. He doesn't ever seem to be pompous.
Bino hates him.
Saban,
Not
greatest
true,
coach
Mike.
ever,
It's
but
not true.
yeah, he could be pompous. I haven't seen a news conference where I would consider Cignetti pompous. And he toiled away in Division II, and in FCS,
yep,
and in a Group of 5 school.
Yep.
He's 63 years old.
Yep.
He's he grew up in a coaching family.
Yep.
It's mind blowing. Indiana won the national title. I mean, I still can't believe it, and it's been 5 days. But that's the ultimate coaching job. And again, I think it does put so much pressure on every other coach now. I don't think, I'm not saying, if you haven't won in 2 years, you need to be fired. But the idea that it takes a while to rebuild. Well, if you know what you're doing, no, it doesn't.
We got some school closings coming up here momentarily. Mike Huguenin in the house with us for his usual Friday appearance, which is never usual. Today, Negative hung out. And now Negative is currently in our YouTube channel sparring with Hoosier Vol Ryan. Hoosier Vol Ryan says Rick Barnes only pulls a player off the court if they have 2 fouls. So maybe he'll do that tomorrow in protest. And Negative came behind and said, hey, Hoosier fraud. That's a good one. How about that, Bino? He calls the guy Hoosier fraud. That's a good one.
That's no place for the meek in there.
Lot of love there in the chat. All right, Hughie. So the NCAA, the word comes down today. that they're going to stay at 12 for the playoff, unless they can iron out a 16, but they're staying at 12. Hey, Hughie, I got to say this to these guys. The ratings are tremendous for the playoffs. They seem to have found something here. The new seeding deal worked. They could have gone to 16 and gone 1 through 8 and just played it off. But that's too normal. Hey, I'm glad they're staying at 12. Hughie, you made me king. Stay at 12. Stay at 12.
Right. I don't. If you're 9-3, I don't think you deserve a chance to play for a national title. I'm sorry. And I know everybody says, well, look at you had two teams that did not belong. In most years, in most seasons, it would just be one. And I got no problem that there's a group of 5 team in there, the best group of 5 team. And again, I think this year was a supreme outlier with 2 of them. I like the idea that the little guy gets a chance. And there are some years I think Boise State was a better team than Tulane this year. Boise State last year. So I got no problem with the group of 5 team being in there. I think 12 is fine. I do wonder though. I think there are coaches who look at the bye and realize that in 2 years the teams that have had the byes have gone 1-7.
It's like the baseball
maybe
playoffs.
Having the bye isn't an advantage.
No.
But there's that's the interesting thing is the team that had the bye that won was Mr. Signetti. So maybe that guy, he knows what he's doing in more ways than one. But I like the 12-team playoff. I think that's enough. And you're right, the ratings were phenomenal. For the title game. Phenomenal. I think it was the highest-rated non-NFL sports show like the last decade or something. So they're doing something right. The games for the most part were entertaining.
Yep.
Now you're always going to have. I think no matter what playoff, you're going to have a bad game or two. The NFL playoffs are the same way. So some of that's overblown. But I'm actually glad that they're staying at 12.
My friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, Tom Gouffon will tell you this, because this almost ties into the 12-team playoff. I like it because it creates tension. Any musician will tell you, and guitar players know this, the best guitar solos are the ones that create tension and then have some release to them. And it's like a good movie. You want to create a little bit of tension for the listener or the viewer, and then, the good writers know this. You want to create a little peak and then bring that reader back home. And listen, a 12-team playoff creates tension. Bino, a playoff appearance should be an accomplishment. It should not be a walkover. And like Hughie said, you lose 3 football games in a college football season, I don't care if you're playing a 12-game schedule and they're all in the SEC, you're not a playoff team. I hope they stay at 12 forever, Bino.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings at all if they stayed with 12. And I think Mike's argument is the best I've heard against a 16-team playoff.
Yep.
Because I think he's right. I think a 9-3 team is really, really stretching it, that they should have an opportunity to play for the national championship.
Hey, Hughie, you made me czar. I would take the group of 5 automatic qualifier out of there, and I would say to those teams, you're going to play for your own championship, which will get ratings. I'm going to show some vision here. We're going to go to a network or go to a streaming service or go to somebody. These people are fighting over each other for this programming, and we're going to call it something like the America's Championship, or so we'll come up with a catchy name for it, and we'll have another playoff that people will watch, people will celebrate, people will bet on, rather than one of those teams, or like this year, 2 of those teams having nice seasons, and for their nice seasons getting in one of these games and getting their doors blown off where they don't belong. So that's another thing I would do. And then I would change the way we do the seeding. And I would take the 12 best teams at the end of the year as compiled by power ratings, Hughie. I would let Vegas pick my teams. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I don't want that, because I think sometimes Vegas picks the. I think they give the benefit of the doubt still, because they're out there to make money, not to necessarily rate teams. There's always going to be a problem. Everybody's like, the committee's horrible. We should use computers. Well, they use computers with the BCS, and that ticked people off as well. So I'm not sure there is a magic potion to determine the teams. But I disagree with you on the group of 5. I think there should be one group of 5 team, but 12 teams is fine with me. Seed them 1 through 12 the way, or 1 through 11 if the group of 5 team's not there, and if the top 4 are all from the same league, so be it. But again, I think that 12 is a good number. But and I think if Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey weren't so hyper focused on the playoff, and I think you guys are right. Hey Sankey, basketball started here, buddy. How about weighing in? They would also try to get something done about the college football calendar because it remains
ridiculous.
It's the early signing period, really not that early.
Stupid.
The transfer portal coming when it does. Some transfer portal ends when some schools have already started their second semester. So there's stuff that can be done to help make the football calendar a little bit more logical. Maybe make the early signing period in August. There's stuff they need to worry about stuff other than the playoff right now. They're so hyper focused on that that I think they're letting a lot of other stuff go by the wayside.
Hughie, it's time for the Mover of the Week, presented by our friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage. Shout out to Taylor Gouffon, your 5th generation. He's a fixture. He's making it happen. Secure vaulted storage. Newest offerings, commercial storage, logistics, receiving storage, delivery services for all your business logistic needs. Gouffon Moving and Storage. Online, GouffonMovingandStorage.com. And by the way, special shout out to them for the great work they did helping my man Goldbrick Joe move, and a couple other personal friends of mine that I personally recommended to them. Gouffon.com. Again, Gouffon.com. Hughie, the Mover of the Week, hit it.
Wait, did you say Goldbrick Joe?
Goldbrick Joe, yes, sir.
I'm going to go way off. I'm going to Mover of the Week, Nebraska basketball. These dudes are 19-0. They've won 23 games in a row because they ended last season in, I believe it was the NIT, and won it. Yep. Fred Hoiberg's the coach.
Yep, the mayor.
Did not do a good job in the NBA, but the idea that Nebraska basketball is unbeaten, it beat Michigan State already. It won in Illinois with a team of not many big names. In other words, if you're looking for a Indiana replica in basketball, take a look at Nebraska basketball, because Hoiberg has been around, knows what he's doing. They got a team of sort of a bunch of guys who are extremely experienced. They play well together. Nice mix of transfers. But again, Nebraska basketball, 19-0. They've won 23 in a row. They got Michigan and Illinois next week.
Hey, that Michigan game.
We'll know then how good these guys really are. But again, they've already beaten Illinois at Illinois.
That Michigan game next week. Wow, Bino. Wow. That's old school right there. That's like back in the day where these two teams would play and everybody be watching. That's going to get a huge number next week, Bino. That Indiana-Michigan game is going to get a huge number. Not Indiana, I'm sorry. That Nebraska, that's a Freudian slip on my part because I'm so used to thinking about Indiana as a basketball school. That Nebraska-Michigan game, Beanstar, is going to do a huge number next week.
Yes, it will.
And
two really
so.
Good basketball teams.
Yeah, and that Michigan team, if you haven't seen them this year and you're the uninitiated, they are giants. Those are some big human beings at every position, man.
And
big.
Nebraska's also big. They start 2 guys 6'11" or bigger.
Hughie, I love you. You're my man.
All right, talk to you next week. Thanks, man.
The great Mike Hugan, and one more time. Bino, your thoughts on Negative and the way he comported himself as sort of, I don't know, our sort of crazy uncle, skunk at the garden party, guest, and butt of jokes today?
Came in here like a pro, like he did it every day.
Yep, he held it down, didn't he?
Very good. Did a very good job.
Really held it down. And kind of one of the things that we try to do here on a daily basis is we try to be a full service provider to you. We've been known to bring you the news, the weather, the traffic, and the sports, and, ladies and gentlemen, snowbird closings. One of the things we've been known for down through the years. Let's just go ahead and start with the top. Danny White Symposium on Crowd Control, scheduled for the River Club over at Thielen Stadium. Will go on rain or shine, but especially if it snows. G-Mac's fifth meal on as regularly scheduled. Katie O'Connor, eating coach, will be serving. The UT basketball watch party slated for the G10 Garage for the Alabama game. Tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern Time, will go on as regularly scheduled. W. Lynn asks that you please bring your propane heater. And also, if anyone out there has a stand for W. Lynn's nightstick, please bring, what's it called, Bino? Is it a nightstick? What's that thing called he brings? The flag?
The flag.
The Ethanburg Church League Clinic, slated for, Bino, what's the church called over there in Oak Ridge where Ethanburg's going to be appearing?
He'll be appearing at Spurgeon Chapel, but he will not be playing. He'll have to go to Central Baptist.
He's going to have to go. Is he good enough, Bino, to make this? You can't crack on people during the... Wait a second. We got school closings here.
Sorry.
Danny White's medium shirt fitting at MS McClellan will go on as regularly scheduled. The Mark in Columbus recitation of It's Dad. Pick up your T-shirt on the way out. Scheduled for Laurel Theater and is on as regularly scheduled. Derek Owings' recitation of Lotion is Motion. Motion is Lotion. And the importance of shower discipline is on as regularly scheduled. As will be Dave Hart's shipment of Kiwi Polish number 4 hair dye, Sally Beauty Supply, Farragut. All second shifts are encouraged to report. Also, Dave Hart's Lady Vol Appreciation Seminar at Stefano's is on as regularly scheduled. Ladies and gentlemen, we now do a brief legal ID here.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fanrun Radio.
And we can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that W. Lynn's bracket unveil, 16-team playoff from the 1956 bracket, is on for the Bleak House as regularly scheduled. Basilio's first call will be delayed through the third break. All second shifts are on standby. Bruce Pearl's How to Read a Room workshop canceled, but those who purchase tickets can redeem them for Stephen Pearl's Overcoming Obstacles, My Odyssey Clawing to the Top. The Brian Rice tribute to Tony Basilio at J.C. Holdway is on as regularly scheduled. Attendees encouraged to bring your own shovel for the ceremonial ditch digging out back. Megatron's 11-year-old pro day on as regularly scheduled. Scouts encouraged to call first for the live workout. Hype Track will be performed live by the rapper Andy because Florida isn't capable of busting a rhyme. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a look. Oh my gosh, we've got more. We've got more. Basilio's next faux pas scheduled for the next 10 minutes on as regularly scheduled. Dabo White's next tweet challenging fans, lecturing the season ticket holder on as regularly scheduled. Joshy Boy's redemption story, Broken Wings to Flying High, will take place today in your third hour. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more. School closings, you're encouraged to get them in. commonfan@gmail.com. Tanya Stout-Brown standing by. We love you. God bless. And hour number 2 after this.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right. Drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk, to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk, to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
If you're listening to me and we're back with you, and you're a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, and you look up and you realize that you're involved with Mario Cristobal, you could not have looked into your crystal ball and seen that, because that makes zero sense. And what's going on in the NFL right now in this hiring cycle makes zero sense. But helping us make sense of the NFL playoffs, what we're seeing in college ball, the great Mike Detillier now joining us. I love him. He could read the phone book to me, start at the letter Z and work his way backward. He could be in the ends, and I would still be raptured with attention. The great Mike Detillier, the coolest cat in the world, joins. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Tony. Always great to be on with you, buddy.
Well, you break it down scientifically. All right, let's start here. All politics are local. What'd you think of the Titans giving Saleh another shot? Because it's almost like what happens in New York. It's like what happens in Vegas. It doesn't really count, you know. I can't count against him what happened with the Jets because nobody can make it work there. Your thoughts on that hiring?
I think he's a terrific defensive coordinator, a great defensive mind. Big question mark for me is how he handles the big room. Because I've been around guys that are great on one side of the football, but they can't handle the big room. If you look back at how he handled things with the Jets, man, as a first-time head coach, he struggled with it. Struggled with handling the big room, the media, and also a very meddlesome owner in Woody Johnson. Okay? And now, every time I hear a press conference with an owner today, you almost sort of gasp, Tony. Now, Steve Bisaccia with the Ravens, he hadn't done a press conference in 13 years. Man, he was entertaining. I wish he'd, stopped that 13-year run because he could talk. Then you heard Pagula with the Buffalo Bills, and you were like, oh, my Lord. He threw his player under the bus and then turned it in reverse and backed over him again. So I'm not going to hold that against him. The big hires for me is who he brings in as the quarterback coach, who he brings in as his offensive coordinator. That was a real issue with the Jets, that he didn't have that right combination there. And learning from a bad experience. All of us in life have been through some stuff that maybe didn't turn out like we wanted. Some of us don't learn from it. Some of us do. I have no doubt Robert Saleh is a leader of men. look at what he got out of the 49ers defense, and they had injuries weekly. And it was a skeleton crew at the end. But how you can handle the big room, how you handle management, how you will handle a coaching staff, I think that's key. Okay, he hires Hackett to run his offense with the Jets because Aaron Rodgers wanted him. Okay, that's not why you're hiring people. But because the owner, Woody Johnson, wanted Aaron and was willing to do whatever he had to do, you know, you had to hire Hackett. That was a disaster for them. And it eventually got him fired. I talked to a lot of college and pro coaches. One of the things they bring up often, Tony, is being a head coach, you get an opportunity to bring in your own people. But then circumstances get involved. And I understand what circumstances mean. You have an owner that says, I want to keep so-and-so. He was on the staff before. We brought in this free agent. He'd like for you to hire so-and-so as his position coach. And now in college football, we have the new age versions of the Al Davises running college football.
Yep.
Okay, if I'm going to give you $25, $40, $50 million, I want to say on that football team, a basketball team, a baseball team, having to deal with those guys. And we got them now more than any other time in our time frame. I want to see what Saleh does as offensive coordinator hire, quarterback coach hire. It's the biggest hires for him to have any kind of success because you got the quarterback in Cam Ward.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
He's the man. Now, surround him with better talent. And because I can tell you, the day they hired him, the Titans' defense got significantly better. But offensively, hey, you got to score. You got to be able to put points on the board. How they handle the offseason with spending money free agent-wise and a staff is crucial for success of Robert Saleh.
Mike Detillier, yay, joining us as somebody just put in the chat, which is a great line because they're saying yay for him. And you know why they're saying yay? Because since 1985, he's been breaking it down scientifically. One of the great analysts out there when it comes to the college game, the pro game. Sports Illustrated at one time called this man the best sports voice in America, and there's a reason for that. He breaks it down scientifically. And hey, Mike, tell me this, okay? My man Jimmy Haslam up there in Cleveland, I got to give him a lot of credit because in 24 short months, they took a promising young team, got in a snit over Baker Mayfield, traded a bunch of draft picks for a guy that's an absolute reprobate and lowlife in Houston, who Houston was not going to play. They weren't going to use him. I don't know how they did what they did with this promising young team they had. There's an old saying about screwing up a certain kind of dream that I can't say on the radio right now, but those of a certain age know what I'm talking about. How did they go, Mike Detillier, from that to where they are, and then the guy they fired and blamed it on was hired almost immediately in this hiring cycle to a decent opportunity in Atlanta? How come they can't get somebody to take their job? Am I imagining this, or they can't get somebody to take their job?
You know, it's just amazing because it is one of 32. You are in the elite category when you're the head coach of an NFL team. And now they're struggling to get people to come in for interviews. It's been an absolute cluster, you know what, in Cleveland. And they have talent on that team. There is no question they got talent. But like in any other business, you have to have leadership and stability at the top. That is not in place in Cleveland. It hasn't been. Looks as though Jimmy Haslam's main regard in life is to build a new stadium. much more so than it is to build a football team. He's been deep in this new stadium gig for a long time. And I don't expect that that'll change much from what you've seen in the past, that's going to change in the future with the Cleveland Browns. They've brought in different combinations. None of it's worked. One thing has stayed the same. Ownership. I've been through that. The first owner of the Saints, okay.
Disaster.
John Neekum Jr., okay.
Disaster.
John's dad
Yep.
was one of the 5 richest men in the world in 1965. He bought the team for his son in 66. They played in 67 first year. They went from 67 all the way until 1988 before you had a winning team. Under his ownership, they never had a winning football team.
Yep.
Coaches changed, players changed, head coaches changed, which stayed the same.
Yep. The Benson Boogie, when he brought Jim Mora in there from my Philadelphia Stars, and he brought some of those USFL cast-offs with him, and they did, and the great Sam Mills, the field mouse himself, and he was down there doing the Bino, do you remember the Benson Boogie? Do you remember the late, great Tom Benson and the Benson Boogie, Bino?
I most certainly do, Tony.
Those were great days, man. Those were great, great days. And how about the ownership? Bad ownership, man, in sports is a bad thing, buddy. It's a tough thing to overcome, bad ownership.
Well, I had a former NFL owner tell me this. I've heard it repeated before. He's like, Mike, I've had a lot of success in life, business-wise.
Yep.
Not in the sports world. And he said 2 things can really kind of shed your deal. One, most owners don't know anything about sports.
Yeah.
They're fans. That they don't know anything.
Yep.
So he said, when you own a sports team, you're a big fan. So he said the 2 things that'll really misdirect you is, he said, I'm an older guy in life. Being involved with younger women and having a sports team. He said, I hate to put it that way, but he said it is true. Those 2 elements do happen for you.
Let's go. Jimmy Haslam, we know here locally, our sports have ascended since he's had something else to destroy. No offense to him. He's just bad at sports. I mean, as we say in the South, God bless the guy. All right, tell me what the Steelers are going to do. Are they really going to get involved with this Mario Cristobal? And here's the other thing. What am I missing something here? What happened to all the NFL, the young talent out there? What's going on here?
I would be shocked if Mario Cristobal left Miami of Florida to take the Pittsburgh job. Reasoning why, man, that's an old roster, Tony. And you don't have the young quarterback. And you don't have a high enough pick, to say I'm going to get one of those guys.
Yep.
Man, I passed on that. That's a major rebuilding job. I don't care who takes it over in Pittsburgh. This is not Mike Tomlin walking in Pittsburgh. This isn't Bill Cowher walking in. This is more like Chuck Noll taking over the Steelers.
Yep.
This is a huge overturn of a roster. I'd be absolutely shocked. Now, I know Mike McCarthy really wants that job. They have really not went with an older coach. They've always went with a younger coach to take over that team. That would be a little bit of a reversal in fortune for the Rooney family. But I'd be shocked if Cristobal took that job. And you and I were having this conversation, and every year it's the biggest line camp in America.
Yeah.
The Louisiana Line Camp. It's run by Kevin Mawai, he's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, former guy with Titans for a long time, Jets, and 84-year-old Pete Jenkins. And, Pete's coached all across America in college, pro football. He's retired 5 times and still, they hire him. He goes to Oregon for 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
He goes to Ohio State for a couple of days.
Yep.
Is down here at LSU. Went to Ole Miss with Pete Golding and helped him there. And he made a comment to me in the summer that he said, I think we're in the biggest renaissance that we've ever seen in coaching. The biggest gap I've ever seen from good coaching to mediocre to middle-range coaching. He's 84 years old. So, and part of it is, he said, I would go to campus in college football. I would talk to the head coach, and he would tell me, man, I got a really good staff, but I got a couple, 3 guys on this staff now.
Yep.
They're middle-range coaches, great recruiters. But he said, I got to get rid of them. Reasoning why, what recruits players today? The checkbook. That ace recruiter does have some value, but not like it was years ago.
That's right.
And if you look,
what
Rick Signetti did at Indiana,
yes,
look at the staff he pieced together.
Yep.
Coaches that can coach.
Well, here's a crazy thing, right, about what he did. His team was so well coached that it completely stood out in the game that he coaches. Let me ask you something, because somebody brought this up. This is a great thing to bring up to you. And then I want to ask you about what's going to happen this weekend. As Mike Detillier joining us, one of the first things Lane Kiffin did when he went to LSU was kind of start a little bit of a tiff with Frank Wilson. And Ole Miss said, you know what? We're going to seize on that. I know they had heat beforehand, but he could have mended the fence, right? What was your take on Lane Kiffin's approach there? Because it seemed unorthodox, to say the least. Was it just Lane being Lane and a big ego deal? Is Frank to blame for part of this thing? Where are you on the schism between those two guys that obviously exists?
Yeah, it missed a lot of LSU fans, but when you're going to pay Lane the kind of money you're paying him, one of the things you have to give him is total autonomy on hiring assistant coaches. And the surprise for me was his connections to LSU were Frank Wilson, who he had on his staff at the University of Tennessee. That one year he was there. Frank was there.
Yep.
The other one, Ed Orgeron. Okay? I would have bet a lot of money Ed would have been on that staff. And yet he wasn't. Lane told you by not hiring both how the dynamics of college football changed.
What you're talking about.
Frank and Ed were both known for their recruiting.
Wow, that's interesting.
And also, too, both guys, from a coaching standpoint, are a little up in age. I think Lane feels I'm going to hire coaches that knows what I want them to do, and the checkbook at LSU will be the reason. And one thing with Lane, everybody used to call Will Wade when he was at LSU coaching basketball the pirate.
Yep.
Well, Will, he got nothing on Lane. Man, Lane's the gangster. He's going to do what he has to do to get the people he wants, coaching-wise, player-wise. You can like him or don't like him. Tony, he is the lightning rod. A lightning rod for that sort of deal.
Oh,
and he revels in it.
Yes.
He doesn't care what you think of him or I think of him or some fan thinks of him.
Well, you're on the ground there. Yeah. Well, you're on the ground there, okay? Tell me this, as Mike Detillier joins. People say that this Frank Wilson guy has just has the grips on New Orleans high school football. Like he's the czar. He's like a gatekeeper almost, if I can use that term. Is that overstated, or does he really have that strong of a presence there, or is that a yesterday thing and now it's just about money? Where are you on that?
he does. Okay, I'll answer it two ways.
Okay.
Yes, does have great connections in the New Orleans. There isn't a high school coach Frank Wilson has not had major interaction with. Frank has big-time connections in the state of Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Lake Charles. But I think for Lane, his deal is you have them, but I trust Kevin Smith that he can coach what I want him to coach offensively.
Yeah.
Same way where he could have hired Ed Orgeron.
Yes.
But he goes out and hires Sterling Lucas.
Yes.
From South Carolina.
Yes.
And so that tells you how the landscape of college football had changed dramatically.
And
because Ed, it's similar to Frank. Ed knew everybody here. Everybody.
You know, the thing about O is, and this is an interesting thing, right? That would have been like hiring a family friend guy. That would have been like going back to an old safety blanket. Hey, I'm taking this job at LSU. You had this gig at one time. You know all these people here. I'm going to make a little war over here with Frank Wilson. It's even more reason for me to take you on my staff. And that just goes to show you what kind of an independent spirit or a little bit of a nut job Lane Kiffin is. Because who would do that, right? Who would do those two things?
Here's the best part.
Yeah.
He called Ed when he first got there to say, man, I felt your spirit, Ed, about, hey, go Tigers. And brought him up twice in the initial press conference. And didn't hire him. And Ed actually moved from Miami, where he was staying. Now his the twins, they coach at Miami of Florida for Mario Cristobal. Ed moved back to Louisiana because he thought he was going to get the job here.
Wow.
And it didn't happen. So, you know, him and I have talked, and he was like, hey, if it don't work out, if I don't get a college coaching job this year, I'm moving back to Miami. I know Ed would love to coach again. I think college football is a little bit more funner, so to speak, with Ed there. Because
I love him.
He's a personality like very few.
That's right.
But I think Lane felt, you know what? I'm not going to go that route. I'm not going to do that.
Surprising. That's very. I'll be honest. It's
he
very.
He had autonomy to do it. If he'd have wanted him, he could have brought him in. If he wanted him.
This thing's interesting. So, all right, this weekend we have a couple championship games. When you tell me in the NFL that it's a lock, stock, stone cold lock, like that game in Denver. And I watched New Orleans offense last week. I mean, not New England's offense. Freudian slip on my part. Excuse me there, Detillier. But when I watch that offense struggle to put a team away that had already turned the ball over 4 times in a game, and it is a game late in the third quarter into the fourth quarter. No reason that should be a game. But Houston does have a great defense, and so does Denver. Why do I get the feeling something surprising could happen in that game? Am I crazy in feeling that way?
2 words. Sean Payton. I've seen him win with Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, Teddy Bridgewater as a starting quarterback. When Drew would get hurt or when Drew retired. It's amazing. My concern is not Jarrett Stidham with Denver. Denver's defense has leaked oil for the last 6 weeks of the season. If you watch that game, Buffalo moved the football up and down the field on them without a top receiver, and Denver could not stop them. What stopped the Bills? The Bills. Turnovers. And then probably in the worst performance I've seen in Josh Allen have in postseason, where he misses a wide-open Dawson Knox, fumbling the football, turnovers, and then, he puts the ball out a little bit farther Brandon Cooks runs under that, and it's not a controversial play, Brandon Cooks is in the end zone.
Yes.
He's going to run away from that guy.
Yep.
The Broncos defense, people don't want to talk about it because they've given them so much praise for basically 3/4 of the year. Their defense has leaked oil. Look at what the Bills did them. They went up and down the field. They just could not convert on certain down and distance situations. I'm going to take the points in Denver. I really believe New England wins this game.
Yes.
But give me the points.
I agree with that. It's going to be a game. It's going to be a game. It's going to be an interesting game. All right. By the way, that Pagula guy, I don't know what got into his Wheaties, who peed in his Wheaties, but he fired. Hey, listen, he fired 2 coaches in a snit. He fired James Franklin, right, in an absolute snit fit that nobody saw that coming. And then he lowered the boom on a guy that's an elite coach up there with the Bills who's done an elite job for him. They compete at the top of the sport. And he fired him because his quarterback couldn't make 2 throws in a game. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous, isn't it?
It is. And what does he have like Hazel? But he's closer to it. A new stadium.
That's right. That's right.
Executive suites, licenses. Man, these people know how to make money. They ain't a billionaire for nothing.
It's pretty great.
And multi-billionaires for nothing.
Pretty
I
great.
think the business part of that also comes into play. No matter what they want to say about, well, we need a new change and all this and that, I do think the business part of selling something new does come into play.
All right. And then the NFC final. Who do you like? Because I love these championship games. It's literally my favorite weekend of the season. It is unbelievable how great these 2 games are every year.
I'm going with the Rams. I think a lot of Mike McDonald as a coach.
It's interesting.
But, man, this is his first time walking down that aisle in these type games. Man, Sean McVay's been there, done that. And they have the better quarterback in Matt Stafford. They have the better quarterback. Seattle's defense is very good, okay? No question about it. But if they were so good, how come the Rams went up and down the field on that Thursday night on them? Okay, it's the craziest damn 2-point play I've ever seen in my life. It's converted. And I just have a feeling with the Rams in these type outlets, Sean McVay is at his best. And Seattle, they lost the hammer. And he got Louisiana ties. His dad's from here. Zach Charbonnet. Okay, Kenneth Walker's a really good back.
Yes.
So is Charbonnet. And when they needed the hammer, he was there. And now that not only their starting left tackle, but their backup left tackle has missed practice time all week. And I know one thing: the Rams are they're gonna bring it. They're gonna bring it.
2 great games. I think they're going to be 2 excellent Listen, that crowd last week in Seattle, you talk about bringing it to the table and lathering that thing up and oiling that thing up. There's going to be 2 great games on Sunday. Hey, Mike Detillier, tell the living listener how they can find you, because I have over 200 people just alone on YouTube watching, several thousand around the world in various different ways. But tell me and tell them how they can find you, because you're next level, dude.
I'm on daily, WWL, and they post it out on the Odyssey app. And SaintsReport.com, also on Sports Illustrated. Still got some articles every now and then they ask me to do. But WWL.com is the way to find me. And let me tell you one thing. I'll tell Sean McVay if he was in front of me or talking to me like you. Do not kick the football to Rashid Shaheed. Do not. You can't be that stupid. Don't do it. He's going to run it back. 49ers, they were a bit arrogant. Oh, we can get him. Okay, the kicker got to throw his foot out. He was the closest guy to Shaheed the entire way. Do not kick it to Rashid Shaheed.
You're my man. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you. And have a great, great, great weekend. Hey, Bino, these coaches rather they're going to kick the ball to him, because it's a lot like these basketball coaches that won't play his own defense, Bino. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tony, I think the coaches are still getting used to this new kickoff rule.
Yep.
It's basically 2 years in, and trying to figure exactly what the best strategy is with the new kickoff rules. But yeah, you got a guy that's a real threat to run it back on you. Forget it. Just boom that thing. Give it to him wherever.
Bino, I know you were kind of neutral on it when it first started. You enjoy this new kickoff rule? Because I really wish college football would go to it. It's brought special teams back into the NFL game.
I do wish they would go to it, Tony, because there is basically no return game in college anymore.
Doesn't exist. You've got rugby punters that run around and punt the ball. You don't have no returns. And in kickoffs, everybody boots the ball through the end zone, as they should. I mean, there are no returns anymore.
No, there's not.
No returns.
I'm wondering how long this Australian punter thing's got left in it, too, because it doesn't seem to be as effective as it used to be, the early guys. I mean, we've got a rugby punter that somehow punts it down the middle of the field, up in the air.
Well, of course, we're going to deviate from the septum. It's just who we are. Bino, what do you make of the FBI opening up an investigation into Irsay's death? W. Lynn's Breath over here on Twitter's over here on YouTube is wondering about that. It's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I had no idea they had, Tony.
It's crazy.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, look it up, because there's apparently the doctor involved. I don't want to speak out of school, but apparently it's like one of those Michael Jackson deals where he had himself a Dr. Feelgood. Then Dr. Feelgood. We're going to come back on the other side. I want to hear from you. We'll get some more closings in. I'll get Bino and Brian's thoughts on everything we've discussed today. Wow, we got to hit the reset button. I mean, Mike Detillier, you talk about bringing it lean, long, on, and strong, and bringing it to the table. And Hughie, and as promised, we were going to have a delay in our callers. We told you about that inclement weather closing right off the top of the show. My friends at you get stuck at home. My friends at VIP Play want to remind you that you can warm up your weekend by placing a little wager here on what you're watching. And that's where my friends at VIP Play come in. $20. You sign up for your account, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly on your account. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. They're live always at 200-plus leagues. You've got what's going on with the Australian Open right now. You got some PGA golf this weekend. You've got a full card in the NBA, NHL. All kinds of stuff. College, the Vols are on the what's the line in Tennessee game, Bri, tomorrow night? Do we have that yet?
I have not seen it.
It's going to be, what would you guess? What would you guess, Bri, will be the number?
Alabama probably will be favored by about 7 points,
All right.
I would guess.
What would you play, Bri? If I said Alabama and 5.5, what would you do?
I'd have to go with Alabama.
Gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. We come back on the other side. Yeah, we'll open that up as well, the Alabama game. Here's the thing. Tomorrow night's game has a chance to turn into a real farce and a sham of a mockery with what Alabama's doing with Betty Croco.
Oh, it's a 3.5-point line from VIP Play. Alabama's favored, so.
How about that? Short number, Bri.
Which would make my bet on Alabama even more confident.
Yes, that's a good number for you if you think the Tide minus 3.5. They believe in in Vegas, at least at that book, my friends at VIP Play, I'll tell you what they believe. Rick Barnes is ultra successful against that style of play. And Nate Oates, don't buy me a vowel, has trouble against Rick Barnes. As was noted today by Throtaji in the blog, I think it's 4 of the last 5 or 5 of the last 6. It's almost like one of those Kentucky when they play here deals. It's almost like one of those deals. Just because, as 10cc once said, out in front of, what's that song called? You've been a long time for me. Just because. I'm not in love. There you go. But I'm in love with you after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called the Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexial Kristen.
Hey, Tony. Good to see ya. Connexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit ConnectSeal.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. ConnectSeal, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
From the sunrise over the Smokies to the Saturday cheers at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville isn't just where we live, it's home. But let's be honest, finding your perfect spot in a hot market can feel like a full-time job. Whether you're looking for a Craftsman in 4th and Gill, a family home in Farragut, or a view in South Knox, the market moves fast. You need more than a listing. You need an edge. And that's where I come in, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. And I specialize in helping Knoxville buyers win. I don't just find houses, I find the right fit for your budget and your lifestyle. Ready to unlock your front door? Visit nextmovesmokymountains.com or call me at 865-694-5904. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols.
TB Backwitch, 865-200-5402. The great, you bow thy head when you say his name, William Patterson's on the way next here on Fanrun. My name is Basilio. We serve you for the next few. And then we turn it over to him, and then we do our thing. But in the meantime, we do have an overtime segment coming your way. I don't know how long it'll be. It depends on my friends over at YouTube and how many likes we get and all that stuff. And Bino and I talked about that this morning, and Bino seems to think that that's an okay way to proceed. Bino thinks that's a fair deal. Beanstar?
I absolutely do, Tony.
And Brian,
we're doing this as a labor of love still right now, right? No time and a half, no time.
Labor of love. Brian, you got something you want to share with the listener NFL-wise, then we go back to our phones.
Yeah, this is the first AFC Conference Championship game in 15 years that did not feature either Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes. The last time that happened was when the Jets and Steelers met that year, 15 years ago. But it also does have some familiarity to it because the Broncos and Patriots have played, franchises have, numerous times in the playoffs, including AFC Championship games with Brady and Peyton Manning. You could also have a few familiar Super Bowls that have taken place between franchises recently. The Rams have played the Patriots most recently. The Seahawks have played the Patriots, and the Seahawks have also played Denver in Super Bowls. The only unique one we could see is Denver versus the Rams. the faces have changed, the quarterbacks have changed, the rosters are pretty much all changed, the coaches are gone, but there is a little bit of familiar feel. But you don't have the key is you don't have either Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes in the AFC Championship game this year.
I'm sick of Leather Tuscadero.
For the first time in 15 years.
And Tom Brady and his wife, Tom Brady and his wife. I'm sick of Leather Tuscadero. That's Tom Brady. And when I see Mahomes and his wife sitting up in the lording over the softball program at Texas Tech, it literally makes me want to grab one of our new strength and conditioning coaches' bucket and do my business in it. Let's go to the phones. By the way, today, Orange Throat over at tclub.team in his report referred to this nutritionist we just